It is good to see everyone. Weekending, baby. We're talking about the weekend. We talking about the weekend because everybody in here knows that they do good Monday through Friday, and then come the weekend, everything explodes. Or I did good all week. I was perfect. I didn't let loose too far this weekend. I don't know what's happening. Why is the scale up 6 pounds every Monday? Well, we'll get there in a second. But first, week one recap. Top takeaways. Food is spiritual before it's physical. We do not fight battles like the rest of people. Spiritual. Remember, spirit, soul, body, right? Every bite is a chance to worship God or wander away. You're not starting a diet, you're starting deliverance. I don't mean the Burt Russell movie, and I don't mean deliverance from your sin, but what I do mean is deliverance from the chains that we choose to keep on. Because if the tomb is still empty, there are no generational chains. There are generational choices, and they end with us. Woo! Ladies, the scale isn't your savior, Jesus is. When that scale reflects a certain number, you do not become holy. You do not become better. You're just at a number on a scale. The reason we fight from victory is because of Jesus. That number on the scale is simply measuring your gravitational pull upon the earth. Your worth is not found in that. Can we all agree on that? Drop a 1 in the chat if we can agree with that. Next, I think we have all heard this and we have all started to feel this. Drop a 5,376 in the chat. If you feel me on this one, we lose the internal weight first. The external weight follows. External weight is simply a manifestation of the internal struggle. That's why Jesus said clean the inside of the cup first, and why your old diets didn't work because you're trying to put new wine into an old wineskin. God called his food good. Why are we calling it bad? Is God a liar all of a sudden? I don't think so. Oh, wait, that's me. I'm the liar. I'm the selfish one. I'm the egotistical one. I'm the arrogant one. No, God called it good. Can we ignore Brittany, the fit influencer, that's trying to sell you some like MLM product and telling you that rice is bad? Is anybody in here in their 40s? Or 50s or 60s? Drop a 1 in the chat if you are. Because for some reason, I just had a picture of Brittany eating Snackwells, and I don't remember the last time I saw a Snackwells. Does anybody remember those? The green and black box. Stop turning your pantry into a prayer closet. It's idolatry. You can't out-discipline what you won't surrender. Remember, self-discipline and control are fruits of the Spirit. The Spirit can't take over what you won't surrender. I realize that most of us have been singing that hymn the wrong way. You know, I surrender all. Should actually be I surrender some except for my snacks. If you're in the academy, you heard me sing that and it was not pretty at all. I've already covered you're not fighting from freedom, you're fighting from it. But I want to add an extra line to this one. I was talking to one of my clients who had complete kidney failure, complete liver failure, was pronounced dead for 3 minutes, needs a hip replacement and a knee replacement. My man has now lost 65 pounds and has been approved for his surgeries and transplants. And he said, man, I just can't wait to get free from this fight. And I looked at him and I said, brother, you're viewing it all wrong. Jesus doesn't set us free from the fight. He sets us free for the fight. He needs this struggle that you're fighting through to refine you so that you're fit to fight for his kingdom. So can we start looking at this thing as a good thing, as the struggle is a good thing? God needs it. The enemy wants you full of food, but empty of faith. Guys, I'm going to hit y'all with one. I don't know if y'all ready. Can I drop one that Leah probably wouldn't want me to drop? Is that okay? Can I be full Matthew for a minute? Can somebody give me a yay or a nay? I don't want to step on too many toes tonight. Cool. A lot of us stress out because we're trying to control things. Trying to control things, that's God's job. We're not equipped to be God. That fear, right? That anxiety, listen to me. Fear is functional atheism because it's saying, I don't trust God to handle what he said he could handle. The first time I realized that, it punched me in the gut. I was so convicted. It's not a guilt or a shame thing. It's literally the truth. That's what I mean by the enemy wants you full of food but empty of faith. You don't need more willpower. You need more worship because willpower is self-worship. So worship the Lord in all that we do. Instead of devil's food, dance like David. You're not weak. You've just been feeding the wrong thing. Freedom doesn't start in the kitchen. Freedom doesn't start in the kitchen. It doesn't start in a diet. It starts with your spirit. And it carries over into your soul and into your body. I think we've all realized that our word for this 21 days and for the rest of our life had nothing to do with diet. You thought it was God food, but the word is, what is it? Freedom. Freedom. And I see you in the chat over there. I see you in the chat, Kimberly, and I appreciate you. And we love you. Stop trying to manage what God called you to master. All right, now I'm going to move into the weekend for helpful tips, okay? I want to hit y'all with this one. Look at this one with me right here. The week is 7 days. Monday through Thursday is 57% of your week. Friday through Sunday is 43% of your. You would have, even if you were 100% perfect Monday through Thursday, but just let it all go Friday through Sunday, at best you got a 57. If you were perfect Monday through Friday day or evening and let loose Saturday and Sunday, that's still between 23 to 30% of your week. So at best, we're at like 77%. That's at best. That is an awesome number. And that is awesome because you know I like data. Why do I like data? Because that right there shows you one reason that so many of us have been stuck. Because how many of us have gone, but I've been trying for so long and I eat so well during the week and I don't eat that bad on the weekend and I just can't make any progress. But if that's you, but if you've been doing this 57 and 43, no wonder. You're at a stalemate. That's awesome. Information is power. So what are we going to do on the weekends? We're going to ask ourselves simple questions. Is this honoring God? Then say yes to those things. Oh, she didn't give me my note. Oh, I told her to give me a note. I just remembered. One of my favorite tips is this. What's the purpose? What's the purpose of this event? If you struggle when you're eating during the holidays, out with family, ask yourself this question. What's the purpose of this event? Is the purpose of the event to honor God, to spend time with my family, or to eat until I hurt? You can do those first two things and still enjoy good food. But if those are the focus, then it would never turn into gluttony. And you would never end up hurting. Because you know that if you end up overeating in those events, you're not going to be able to focus on your family. Because I think we've all been to the point where we ate so much at that restaurant, we had to like undo the pants a little bit. Ladies, you know you got your buffet pants, the stretchy ones. You know what I'm talking about? I know you all do. I see Beth laughing because she knows it's true. Or your husband, he just unbuttons them and just like, all right, let's go for it. Listen, this is a beautiful thing. Remember, if you struggle with navigating events and navigating eating out and navigating the weekends, what's the point of the event? If the point of the event is your son's baseball game, be present on the baseball game. It doesn't need to include the popcorn and the hot dog and the icy, because then you're not going to be sober-minded enough to pay attention. Isn't that kind of freeing? What's the purpose of the event? Sometimes it may actually just be to eat, okay? But that probably shouldn't be very often, wouldn't you say? Is it overeating processed foods? Let's not do that. We can still enjoy our foods. We can still go out to eat and enjoy God food. We can do simple little things like saying, hey, I don't feel really great if I eat all this stuff that's laid down, overly cooked with oil and butter. So if you could hold those for me, that'd be great. They'll do it. It's a restaurant. Plan ahead. Said it the other day. I'll say it again. Not planning is having a plan, but it's planning to fail. When I work with a client, I define, matter of fact, I see some of y'all making notes. This is one of my favorites. What's the difference between a good excuse or a good reason and an excuse? Here's how I define it. If you've never seen something before, how would you know how to navigate it? So that's a pretty good reason why you messed up. I think we can all agree on that, right? But if you've seen the problem before and didn't come up with a plan for the next time, now it's an excuse. Is that fair? If your 10-year-old makes a mistake because it's something that's at an 11-year-old's level, you wouldn't fault them for it. Hey, you've never seen it before, kiddo. It's okay. Let's figure this out so next time we don't make the same mistake. Isn't that the conversation we'd have with our kids? Why don't we have it with ourselves? And the cool thing is, you can, because a lot of us are still letting that 10-year-old and 11-year-old little boy or little girl inside of us drive. I think we sent out Carrie Weber's YouTube on this. We talked about that, and it was very, very powerful. So if you haven't checked that out on our YouTube channel, please check that out. Carrie, you're amazing. All right. Going out to eat, scope out the menu ahead of time. Pick what you want to order beforehand. That's not obsessive, it's smart. You picked your hotel before you went on vacation, unless you're me, because I don't. Well, I didn't before my family. But why do we plan some things and not others? You wouldn't go on vacation with just no hotel for you and the family, would you? No, that's silly. You might not end up with somewhere to stay. You might end up with one of those ones that still has a window, AC. Nobody wants that hotel. So scope it out ahead of time, because the thing is, if you're hungry or you get in your emotions and you see that chicken parmesan and that tiramisu on the menu, you know you're going to get it, because I would too. So I don't look. Know yourself. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's wisdom, y'all. Ask them. Hey, can you put the dressing on the side? Can you cook this with no butter or no oil? If you don't think that the amount of oil and butter they use when they make things is crazy, check this out. The amount of calories or energy in a grilled chicken salad from Zaxby's is 1,150. Yeah, you're welcome. Just blew your head open, didn't I? Yeah. Remember, even the healthy restaurants, their job is not to make you healthy, it's to get you to come back. There's a reason it tastes that much better. It's not because they're that much better of a cook than you. Don't go starving. Just yesterday, Leah went to the grocery store. She was very hungry. She stopped and ate an apple first, because she knew that that was not wise, right? So don't go starving. Don't go anywhere starving unless you're fasting. Then that's on purpose. It's wisdom. This is why I keep a protein jug, the Vicera, which is my natural version, in my car, and an empty shaker cup or two in my car, just in case. If you have a day trip coming, okay, eat a very high protein breakfast. Eat a big old breakfast, and then have your stuff in the car. Take some with you. This is where you can be smart. If you're like, man, I don't want to take that food, then be wise. This isn't strict rules, right? Maybe you go with the beef jerky, the all-natural beef jerky, and the apple. I promise there's other fruits out there. It's apple season right now, and they're just so good. Does anybody else love fresh mountain apples, by the way? Does anybody have access to those? If you don't, I'll send you one in the UPS. It might not be good when it gets there. Day trips, y'all, I travel at least once a week for work, often twice. Last month, I wasn't home on a single weekend. I just brought my food with me. Is that obsessive? No. You know the real reason I do it? Because I don't want to spend the money of eating out. It's ludicrous. We took a poll of everybody in our academy. The average money saved in the academy after they joined was $400 per month on food. Y'all, I had a client who we were working together. They have kids in 3 sports. So do we. They were spending over $2,000 a month eating out. Be wild. Remember, stewardship isn't just about our health. It's also about his money, because that's money that we could be pouring into the kingdom. Okay. Now, this is a big one. Beth, you've gotten really good at it. Carrie, you're getting good at it. Go check out her Instagram. I'm picking on them because they're the two sitting on the side of my screen, and they're in the academy. Take a day, not a whole day. Beth, Carrie, how long does this take? 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Drop it in the chat for us. You guys are doing it. Anybody else that does this? Just to plan your meals for the week. Michelle, I know you're doing it. 15 minutes maybe, 20 minutes to plan your meals. Go through the God Food Guide sheet. Circle it with your family, the ones that you love. Ignore the things you don't, because you know your kids are going to hyper-focus. But I don't like asparagus. Ain't nobody talking about asparagus, Kevin. Only focus on those things. Now understand, we have a family of 5. You're not always going to make everyone happy. Since Leah's not here, I can say this when it comes to the kids. Our model for being a parent is our Heavenly Father, correct? Does God give us everything we want or everything we need? It would be incredibly unkind to give our children everything they want. Because if your kids are like mine, all they're going to want is Chick-fil-A, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and goldfish. It's a weird combo, but it is what it is. But that would be very unloving and unkind of me to give that to them. They don't like me a lot for it. That's okay. It's not my job for them to be their best friend. It's my job to equip them and for them to love me. And they'll thank me for it, and they respect me and know they don't hate me. So go through that guide, set up the time. Look at your calendar for the upcoming week and plan the meals. Keep them simple, okay? Keep them very simple. Most of our meals on the weeknights take about 15 minutes, no more than 20. And that's to feed a family of 5. Y'all, you're going to spend that amount of time waiting on DoorDash or in the drive-thru these days. Unless it's Chick-fil-A, because they're ninjas. Duplicate things, but that's not saying you need to eat the same thing every day. That would get old. Okay? But pre-cook extra. So meal prepping can also look like what we used to call back in the 90s leftovers. Okay? And if you don't want to eat it again the next day, here's a really simple one. Freeze it. And that meal that you did the same thing for 4 days ago, pull it out of the freezer. Now you're rotating things. I don't want to eat the same thing 5 days in a row. Eat it, have it the next day, put the other ones in the freezer, keep rotating that. Now you've got a library of meals that are frozen. It's your own version of TV dinners, y'all. We really don't need to overcomplicate this thing. Have protein pre-cooked for the week. Protein's the thing that y'all know. You look around, you're like, well, I got potatoes, or I got rice, and that doesn't take any time. Broccoli doesn't take any time, but man, that chicken or that beef or whatever, it takes a while. Well, first off, throw it in the air fryer. No, it doesn't. Second, put it on the grill, unless you like your steak well done, in which case, get off my call. Third, have it prepped. Pre-prep some of those things. Throw chicken in an Instapot. Shred it. We prep. I eat on average, y'all. I don't talk about me that often with this stuff. I eat on average 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of meat a day. It's very hard to binge eat other things if you're eating 2 pounds of meat a day, because you ain't got no room. But that doesn't take me, I would say for the entire week, maybe 30 to 40 minutes to cook. That's it. Throw it on the grill. Throw it in the air fryer. Duplicate what you can. Okay? Big tip here. If impulse buys get you, if your kid is a klepto, okay? Order your food online. Have it delivered to your house. But there's a fee. You're going to save it in the impulse buys. Moms, listen to me. You know you ain't got time to be running all over there and having that fight with your baby about some silly stuff. And you're probably not at the point to resist yourself. So you can either have it delivered or they'll deliver it to your car in the parking lot. Save yourself some time. Most of us buy the same basics over and over and over again. It'll remember it. I see my Academy people nodding because they're like, yeah, that saved me so much time. Okay, that goes into this. I just got ahead of myself. Cut up a few fruits and veggies for the week. If you're going to meal prep with frozen veggies, I'm a big frozen veggie guy. I'm going to give you a hack. Let's say you're making some steak and broccoli and sweet potatoes. So you can throw the sweet potatoes in the oven or the crock pot or the Instapot, okay? Have your steak cooking on the grill. Have everything going at once. If you're going to microwave this meal later, which I wouldn't suggest doing with steak, so pick a different meat. Throw the frozen vegetable in the meal prep container. You don't have to cook it. It'll cook itself when you microwave it. Microwave's not my favorite thing, but let's be real. Ain't nobody got time to throw everything in an oven every meal. I'm going to share a story. When Leah and I started dating, she felt this guilt. I'm going to end this. When Leah and I started dating, she felt this guilt because she wanted to spend that time on Sunday or Saturday with her kids that she was also spending meal prepping. If any of y'all ever felt that pull like you're being selfish, drop a 1 in the chat if you've ever felt selfish for doing it. First off, it's not selfish. The Bible calls us to be servants, not slaves. And your family deserves the best version of you, don't you think? But I looked at her. There were 2 things that we had there's been a lot. But we had this discussion. I was like, babe, what's bothering you? And she said, well, I just feel guilty for taking this time to meal prep when I should be spending it with your kids. I just looked at her and I said, Leah, simple question. I don't know, but why don't you have them help you so that they learn how to cook and they're equipped to cook for themselves when they grow up? She looked at me like that was the most profound statement and question she'd ever heard in her life. Make it a family event. Mason helps me grill the burgers and the steaks now. The kids chop up the peppers and onions. Now we all do it together. And guess what? Now, family of 5 meal prep for the week takes about 30 minutes. We've got a lot of hands. They might not want to do it. Again, not my house. The other one that we had a conversation with, ladies, I'm going to speak to y'all for it, was you might say to yourself, I don't have time to do it because you're running around picking up, doing all these other things, right? Remember, I looked at her and said, babe, why are you doing everything for them? She said, well, because I love them. I said, okay. And it makes me feel good. I said, well, is it for them or for you? She said, what do you mean? I said, well, it makes you feel good. So that's actually for you, right? It was for a validation. The second question was this. Babe, do you want Mason to wait hand and foot or expect every woman he dates and the woman he marries to wait on him hand and foot? And she said, no. I said, then why are you teaching him that? And I said, what? Do you want Madeline and Mallory to be a complete and utter slave to the man they marry and run behind him, picking up everything and cooking everything and cleaning behind and doing all the things around the house? And she said, no. And I said, then why are you teaching them that? Now they help. Now they help. Just questions. Do with those what you want. They're just questions. I don't have answers to them. I can't answer them for you. But maybe a lot of the time that we're struggling with time and this guilt, what I've seen and just my perception a lot of times is we kind of do it to ourselves. And then we do it to ourselves and then feel guilty for not doing it. Like, wait, what? That's kind of silly. Anyway, I wanted to share that story because, again, I like y'all to know that we struggle with these things too. And the last one of the day is this. I'm from South Carolina, y'all. And we may skip service, but we going to pray and we going to eat. If any of y'all Southern Baptists, you know we going to eat, right? Did y'all know in the Southern Baptist Church, fried chicken is called the gospel bird? Like, ain't that kind of an indictment? But here's what I want you to think about. How many of us leave church on Sunday and immediately go binge eat? How can we glorify God with our songs and our worship 1 minute and the very next moment we're binge eating and being gluttonous? I'm not saying that eating and enjoying and feasting is a bad thing. But if we do it all the time, or if it's to the point where we're hurting or it causes guilt and shame, that's not celebration at all, wouldn't you say? I think there's a few things. One of the reasons we struggle is I think some of the things that we've been taught might need to be reframed or thrown out. Does anything I say tonight resonate with anybody? I'm going to do something different. I want to answer 2 questions. So tomorrow is the VIP, tomorrow morning. Make sure you have the link. I do live Q&A. But I appreciate y'all being here with me on your Friday night so much. If anybody has a really easy question for me to answer that I don't have to think about too much, kidding. Just type I have a question in the chat and we'll see if we can answer it. And if nobody does, then I won't. Got so many questions you just don't want to ask in front of other people. I know this game. Well, if we don't have anybody, y'all, I appreciate you. I love you. I thank you. And I will talk to y'all soon and see you tomorrow.